Namaskaram and good day. I'm Arjun, or you can call me Justin. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. I hope I make a good video that resonates with everybody, or at least a few people. Before I get into it, please subscribe, like if you like the content, share it, leave a comment, do all that good stuff. It really helps me out. So yesterday was a big day in Vedic astrology. And I know some people are like, oh, this BS, like woo-woo, the hippy-dippy, spiritual, outdated stuff. So again, I'm going to say that Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma is not a religion. A religion is just a component of it. But the Vedic sciences are intense. It's very few people are well educated in it, and I'm not saying I am, but the little that I know, the drop in a huge ocean, is already so convincing to me that thousands of years ago, these people knew stuff way ahead of their time. And I won't get into that, like how did they do that and all that, but most Westerners follow like astrology that is, there's some overlap with Jyotish or Vedic astrology, and there's different systems, chart systems that they use in Vedic astrology, but most people go by like their sun sign and the Mediterranean, like Greek, and like system for astrology. Jyotish is, there's some similarities for sure, but there's a lot of differences. And if you ever look at birth charts, like the day down to the second that you were born and the coordinates of your location where you're born, it determines a whole lot of things, like your disposition, personality, like all these things. So a lot of people like write that off. But what I want to say is, think about this, all right? The Earth itself is affected by a lot of different things: cosmic rays, solar flares, all these different kinds of energy wavelengths, and gravitational pull. And so if something's affecting something else within our solar system or the entire solar system itself, because remember, our solar system, we're not just going around the sun. The whole solar system is moving through space in the Milky Way galaxy, and the Milky Way galaxy is moving amongst other galaxies, and then there are superclusters. It's intense, right? Just even from a Western scientist, hat, like putting that hat on. But if you think about that, like if something's affecting one of the other planets in the system, then we are going to also be affected, because organisms and even non-living matter are affected by things like gravitation or X-rays, microwaves, things like that. So ultraviolet waves. So it's a really, I want you to think of it from that lens. Like, depending on where and when you were born, the planets and stars are aligned in a certain way that undoubtedly, even if it seems microscopic, is affecting Earth, and then everything on Earth, especially living organisms. So I just want to encourage people to look at it from that lens. And so you can tell that I do believe in this stuff. I don't hinge all my decisions, based on, what's the alignment like today, and is there going to be bad fortune or good fortune? It's good to kind of be aware of these things, but the biggest thing too is lately we've had like a lot of big days where it's like a full moon occurs at its peak with a total lunar eclipse on a blood moon, right? Those are uncommon celestial events, and we already know that the moon affects the Earth, like tidal waves and all that, and people's emotions for sure. Something like that gravitational pull must do something to our circuit ways, our pathways, our blood pressure, right? Everything. So it's good to keep that stuff in mind. Yesterday was another big day, and it's almost kind of like in Hinduism, Jyotish, it's almost seen as like a kind of a new year. So yesterday was a new moon, and Shanidev, or Saturn, was moving into Pisces, and it was a partial solar eclipse. So there was a lot of things going on yesterday, and going forward, there's all these other planetary alignments, which I am not an expert on. But I wanted to talk just a little bit about Shanidev and Saturn. Saturn is like a disciplinarian. Saturn, or Shanidev, ensures that you learn your karmic lessons, and that karma unfolds, and that you become disciplined in your path, right, towards your higher self, towards resolving all these things that you still have to resolve in this life, past life, and ancestral karma. So a lot of people will fear Shani because I don't want to be punished, but it's not like punishing you. There's a really good video, and I'll try to find it. Someone was saying this is a good example of what Shani Dev looks like. So Shani, he's kind of like the guy that will like push you like out of the way, like even if violently, has to push you out of the way, so then you avoid getting hit by a bus. So you're going to get hurt, right? You're going to get pushed, onto the ground, into a car or something, maybe even break a bone, right? But it's better than getting hit by the bus that's going like 40 miles per hour, right? Like, or faster, right? Like it's way better than that. So he's kind of like that. Like, I'm going to like kind of save you from this bigger catastrophe, but I'm hoping that with the little bit of pain that comes with it, or discomfort or stress, you are going to realize I just spared you a bigger karma pal, or the fruit of a certain action or labor. And hopefully you will be cognizant going forward of the kind of karma that you sow. So a lot of people, they do fear Shani, but like he's very heavy in my chart. He's the ruling planet in my chart. And I feared him for a long time, but now I'm like, no, he's watching out for me. He's helping me. And even if you don't believe in that stuff, again, we have to look at, like, Shani's going to be, or Saturn's going to be in Pisces for, I can't remember if it's a year and a half or 2.5, but it's a while. So it's good to realize that, like, we are like a drop in this ocean, and there's so many things going on in this ocean that sometimes we might not realize that it's having an effect on our mind and body and our spirit. So I did want to say that. I know some people will think I'm a quack, but it's, this axis of having a good alignment in the head, heart, body, spirit alignment. So I just wanted to share that today. You can read up on it. I mean, I'm going to tell you though, Jyotish, or Vedic astrology, is very intense, and it is a science. There's math and science are heavily in this. And one thing I will also add, that like they knew way long time ago that there's 108 moons that fit in between Earth and the moon, and then I think it's 108 suns that fit in between the sun and the Earth. And that's why 108 is one of the many reasons why 108 is a very auspicious number in Hinduism. But they knew things like that, and a lot of people will question like the scriptures of, Vedic scriptures, Upanishads, all these things, because they think it's just a bunch of made up mythology. But the thing that's great about Hinduism and Vedic sciences, and even the stories, is that everything is time stamped. Almost everything is time stamped with the alignment of the planets and the stars. And most of you may not know this, but we can go back in time as far as we want, or in the future, and those alignments tell us precisely like the date and time, right? Like, I mean, if it's not just like where the Saturn is or where Pluto is. I mean, it's the constellations in our relationship, Earth and the solar system, to those. But that's like a great thing, because there are very few other religions that do that. Like, everything is time stamped like that. So that that's my personal belief, but there's something to it. There's definitely something to it, and we should be revisiting this stuff, and we should be incorporating it into our daily lives, but especially healthcare. As always, I wish you all the best on your journeys. I truly do. True healing, true joy, right? Handling the ups and downs equally. And I will talk to you the next time. Take care.